Have you wondered that we have learned entire chemistry with one particle but couldn't answer what it is actually? I am talking about electron. So, what is an electron? At first, the electron was discovered in 1897 by British physicist J.J. Thomson. By experimenting with cathode ray tubes, he proved that atoms are not indivisible and contain smaller, negatively charged subatomic particles. That is an electron. It is negative charged cause it followed negative to positive in cathode ray tube, but it's just approximation of the cathode ray high voltage transfer. But from that we started think electron as literal thing. A literal particle what has negative charge. By that many attempts of making atomic like Rutherford, Bohr, Sommerfeld using electron to orbiting a nucleus like planets. In Bohr model electron however electrons are bit quirky. They are not just simple particle, they are also photon absorber and emitter as we find out in photoelectric effects. In metals electron sees electron can be displaced by a certain frequency photon wave that is called threshold frequency. In the same way, electron and be displaced form orbitals if we use a certain amount of frequency photon wave. You don't understand what photon is? I have made a video about it. Go check it in my card. So using that in Bohr model electron can displaced form orbital after a hit of a photon. And simulation website is in description below. Now back to that question, what is problem with this model? So, yeah, Heisenberg, oops sorry the wrong one. This Heisenberg. Yeah, Heisenberg uncertainty principle. It was literally principle of contradiction. If you point a object position you don't know where it's moving. If you know where it's moving clearly you don't know where it is. It's weird. And this collapse our understand of the world again cause in Bohr model both position and momentum is certain. While it was explained as this photon hits electron and electron move on now cause the light have information about not where electron is. But it's not just a measurement failure, it's actually how nature is. Cause its behavior aligns with electron being a wave. Well, we know electrons' double-slit experiment makes it a wave also. But with this Heisenberg uncertainty you can think like wave and its peak as particle. Now when you have one wave there are so many peaks which are called antinodes, and think wave also have momenta. Wave also have momenta which is p equals h bar k. And k is a wave vector. If you using many other way with different momenta and superimpose it you find specific peaks. Which means there is more uncertainty of finding a particle. But when you had only one momentum means momentum certainty, but more antinode means position uncertainty, and it works. That's why instead of Bohr Louis de Broglie found a different way. A hypothesis that electron is not particle but a wave. And the reason electron not falling down to nucleus is that nucleus is a single point and its momentum uncertainty is pushing the wave away from becoming a point. Now using this hypothesis physicist Erwin Schrödinger made a wave function called psi. It's a function of distribution of probability of finding electron. Not literal wave rather than probability wave math trick to find the distribution of where electron is appearing in spatial dimension. Which now we call it electron cloud, but because this function being complex number that's why we make probability amplitude or the peak of a wave in complex plane. But was immeasurable, that's why we use Born rule to make this complex wave function in single value amplitude. The probability wave graph has broken down to single point like particle. That's why in quantum mechanics electron is wave and particle in superposition until its measure. That is the Copenhagen interpretation. And it makes zero sense if you take it literally rather than just a math trick. For that Schrödinger also mocked by publishing the Schrödinger cat. It said how absurd this superposition is. But it's funny, in modern physics it's been sold as intuition. But when you don't think this electron is physical thing you can understand it's math that is being weird. It's just math trick announced with bad metaphor of literalism. So what is electron then? Not a wave, neither a particle. I will give honorable mention of quantum field theory where electron is four-dimensional spinor field. We will talk about it in some other video simply. But answer the question, is electron is just quantum particle but not a real particle. It's just field energy counting trick called quanta. Electron is not a thing. Electron is our own mathematical abstract. We who created electron at first place to understand the nature. But now we are making some weird math out of it. Welcome to quantum mechanics.